See A Quiet Place Day 1. Let's talk about it right now. How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I really appreciate you hanging with me and talking about movies, television shows, and comic books, and the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zank. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a independent filmmaker. Went to a little gathering tonight and met some good people. So I'm excited to meet with them in the future. It looks like we got a lot of stuff going on here on the independent basis in Atlanta. Keep my fingers crossed I can finally work in this state as opposed to going back to LA. If you want to see anything that I've written, in the description below you'll find a link to my Amazon page and to my other page that has my novels and comics and things to that effect. You can also see a couple of them behind me. All right, so let's chat about A Quiet Place, Day 1. So it's interesting because this whole franchise started as a low-budget feature by John Krasinski. Of course, his wife, Emily Blunt, ended up taking the role as the wife. And was originally she didn't want the part, but then she did want it. And it was really a genius film. You know, we barely saw the aliens throughout the entire film. And on an international basis, he was able to purely change the subtitles. He didn't have to really do any dubbing at all. It was pure genius. So it was already ready-made for an international audience because everything was sign language. And there was very little special effects except for where it was the ending. Because, again, you barely ever saw the aliens. And, you know, it took place in the woods and in a house. And that was pretty much the extent of the entire film. It was very contained and very smart. And it ended up blowing up on a low budget. And then he was able to do a second one that did just as well. The budget raised a little bit. And now here we are for a gigantic film. So the budget for A Quiet Place Day 1 is $67 million. Which is an increase of quite a bit from the original $17 million from the first film. So you're talking about over 3 times the amount. So let's just call it $70 million. They probably have about a $50 million advertising cost, marketing cost. That brings it up to basically $120 million, just say. So it needs to make $240 million to break even. Just keep that in mind. As far as the Rotten Tomatoes, people are liking it generally. Between 85 and 73 audience score, for 85 for critics. So generally people are liking it. I can tell you this. I'm not really going to go into spoilers for really there's no spoilers except for the ending. You know, who lives and who dies. That's purely this is because there is zero plot. I mean, there is not a plot in sight. There is just nothing. It's a disaster movie. It's not even a monster movie. It's a disaster movie. Because you're in a monster movie, you're fighting against a monster. You're going to defeat the monster. There's none of that here. They're not even trying in any way, shape, or form to defeat the monsters. They are purely looking to stay alive. That's it. The Walking Dead is, a zombie apocalypse movie. So this would be like an apocalyptic film. And I am going to do one little spoiler here because a lot of people have been asking me. I don't want to see the movie if the cat dies. And they do, when I got into the film, instead of the film starting right up, they started with like a behind the scenes for like 4 minutes. There was like a timer on top, and Lupita Nyong'o was having a little discussion, and they played little games with Joseph Quinn. And I thought that was very interesting. And somebody asked the question, because they were answering questions, does the cat die? And she's like, I can't tell you that. But there are people asking me that if the cat dies, I don't want to see it. So I can tell you that the cat does have a very big role in the film, and the cat does not die. So just, if that's keeping you from seeing the movie, don't worry, the cat doesn't die. So the plot of this film, so it follows Lupita's character, right? And they emaciate her on purpose. So if you watch the trailers and you don't know why she looks a little more emaciated, because she is a good-looking woman, but not in this case, because they purposely downgrade her because she has cancer. Okay, so she's got cancer, and we start with her in a hospice situation where she is dying. So, and she's kind of given up on life. Everything and everyone pisses her off. She's just kind of done with life, really. She's just waiting for the end. They keep telling her that, it's going to be basically days or months before she dies. And those days or months pass and she's still alive. And she's like, I don't know, I just want this to be over already. She's in constant pain. And she's wearing little patches to, I guess, alleviate some of that pain. I don't really know how that works. But anyway, that's what the medication she's taking for the most part. So the whole thing revolves around her father and her want for pizza. And I'm not even kidding. The whole plot is her wanting pizza, but it's not really about the pizza. It's like really revisiting her father's haunts. Her father, how she grew up. I guess she has really good memories of her father being a musician and taking her with him when he did all of these appearances throughout New York City. So when all of everything happens and she's stuck in the city, she decides that she is going to relive a portion of her childhood memories by going to these places where her father treated her. In this case, pizza. So I'm not even kidding. That is the plot. That's the entire plot of this film. So her trying to stay alive long enough to go get pizza. At one particular place. Of course, there's no pizza. It's just her seeing the place. So this is written and directed by Michael Saronsky. And if you've never heard of that name, nobody else has either. How these guys are getting these opportunities is befuddling to me. He did a movie called Pig. He's got a few shorts under his belt. And he's got a couple of TV show episodes. That's it. That's all he's got. He's got nothing. I mean, he does not have a lot of experience. And yet he's not only helming as far as a director, he is writing the third movie of a very successful franchise. And was given more money than John Krasinski was given in the first film, to the tune of $67 million. And of course, Krasinski is also credited with one of the writing credit as well, one of the writers. So the Honshu comes back, but he has just a couple of scenes. He's not in it quite a bit. Alex Wolff is really good in this film. The acting is really, really dependent. The fact that it's a disaster/alien monster film, I say that the actors knocked it out of the park. They really, really took it to a next level, more than this film really deserved. As far as I'm concerned, the actors really did a good job. Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things, who is also going to be in Fantastic Four, of what I'll be skipping. He is the heart of the film. Alex Wolff is the guy that's trying to get Samira, which is Lupita's character, out of her shell and keeping her from being mean. Because she's basically so down on life that she wants to be mean to everybody. But Alex Wolff does a really good job. We don't see Joseph Quinn till almost half the movie's over. It is a shorter film. It is only an hour and a half long without credits, and really that's really all this film needs, because it doesn't really go anywhere. And again, it's all about who lives, who dies, who sacrifices for other people, and it adds a little bit to the lore about the fact that the aliens can't go in the water; they pretty much drown immediately. So why they would attack a planet that is like 75% water is beyond me. I don't understand it, and we don't get into any additional pieces of lore, which is why these aliens are here. Like, I think that's what a lot of people were kind of hoping, was that we could get a little bit more into the lore, but we get nothing. We get zero information. These things, as you see in the trailer, is like meteorites hitting the planet, which I don't know how big those things are, but wouldn't that cause some shift at all, like leaving craters and creating any kind of tidal wave situation? We don't get to know any of that. And wouldn't the astronomers have known that this thing was coming? There's got to be some kind of an early warning system with things hitting the planet that's never addressed. We see nothing. So I think it fails on a lot of that level, where it just keeps us grounded in Lupita's character and the characters of the human race that are in the city and have to adapt to this very quickly. That's it. That's the entire film. There's nothing really to talk about. So I really wanted to see Horizon. That's what really was my top pick to go watch. But I knew that a lot of people were going to be talking about this, and I wanted to do my review on it. So yeah, I went to see this instead. I will be going to see Horizon. I'm looking so forward to that Western. There's just so many little amount of Westerns made nowadays. I'm looking forward to that one. Is this worth seeing in the theater? Not really. There's no real big effects or anything like that makes you want to see this in the theater. Again, it doesn't grow the lore whatsoever. It's really, I would just skip it. Unless you're just a huge Quiet Place fan and you want to see, Lupita do an amazing job, and her relationship with Joseph Quinn, with Eric, her character's name is Eric, I think is very good. So for that level, for the acting level, yes, it's worth seeing. But is it worth seeing in the theater? Is it a must-see? Not really. It is an above-average film, but it's not as, I don't think it's as good, even though it has a higher budget. It's not as good as the other films. Just the way it is. So I'm going to give this film a 6 out of 10. I will probably never be seeing it again. And that is the end of this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you guys watched it, if you totally disagree with me, or you think this is the best of the three of them. I'd like to know why. And besides the acting, again, I think the acting is stellar. But, I mean, Emily Blunt and Krasinski and Cillian Murphy on top of that for the other one. The acting's good across all three of them, I think. All right, so let me know how you guys rate it. Remember, to give me that thumbs up, give me that like, give me that subscribe if you can. Ring that bell, ding, ding. I am trying to grow the channel out. And remember, too, that if you're looking to check out anything I've written in the past, I'm also on Audible with Destiny Aurora. But the other, my comics, my graphic novels, and my regular novels are also all in the description below on Amazon and on DestinyAurora.net. Check out some other reviews, too, before you leave, and I will see you guys on the next episode. I will be reviewing Horizon. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.